Hello, Jean and Jane. I would like to welcome you guys to the Boyven Mediation Center. I would like to thank you guys for coming in today. My name is Brendan.
James. Jean, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Jane, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I would like to let you guys know that we have bathrooms and water fountains right down the hall over there if they are necessary. If you guys need a break for either of those things or any other reason, you guys can just announce and we can take a quick 5 for that. I'd like to make sure that all of your guys' pagers and cell phones are off or on silent for these proceedings. So that seems to be good. Also like to ask, is seating comfortable for you guys?
Not really, I mean the chair's a little squeaky, but it's okay.
I'll just grab you this other one over here.
Okay. Of course, the billionaire here. Well, thank you. Let's see. Let's try this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like this one's gonna be squeaky, but again. Oh, actually, it's better.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
great.
Are the lighting and the temperature of the room okay for you guys?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So I'd like to ask you guys, do you have any time constraints today?
I do. I have to pick up the kids in 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can get done in this time then. Are the main people in this issue here to resolve the conflict? Is everyone you need to discuss with present?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So I would like to hand you guys this release form. It's about confidentiality. I will go over that in just a second. You guys would like to sign this. Thank you. All right, so that's just to make sure that you guys are here to understand that we're here to find a solution today. That you guys are focused on solving the problem, and that that nothing that is said here today will leave this room. Everything's 100% confidential. I will be keeping notes throughout the process. You guys are welcome to keep notes as well. But at the end of the session, or at the end of the mediation proceeding, I will be sure that all notes are destroyed. Do not leave this room. So I'm going to go over how the proceedings will occur, just so you guys have a general idea of how this is going to work today. So first I'm going to ask you guys if you can introduce your side of the story, so I can hear from each of you what you think about what's going on in this issue, what your concerns are, get it all out there right at the very beginning. We're going to start with that, and then afterwards I'm going to let you guys discuss between you two. We'll get some more of the issues out in the open, and then afterwards I'll meet with you individually, and you can tell me any things that you may not want to say in front of the other person if you'd like to keep them private. Then afterwards we'll come back together. We may discuss some of the things that we talked about in private, if that's what you want to talk about, and then we'll focus on finding a solution. When we find a solution, I will write up the agreement, and we'll have you each sign it. We'll go over the specifics of it so that you guys are clear on what the conditions are, and then we will leave here with the problem solved. So what I'm here for today, I'm not here to decide a winner. I'm not here to propose ideas for you guys. I'm just here to guide the process along, and make sure that the mediation goes as it should be. I shouldn't be biased in any way. If at any point, I don't know either of you guys, and if at any point you guys are concerned about bias, that I'm leaning towards one of you too strongly, go ahead and mention it. And and I will do what I can to correct any issues. So as I said before, everything here is confidential. This can't be used in court later on, what is said here. This can't be like let out to the media or anything like that. So I just want to make sure that's clear. The only exception to that is if there are threats of violence or murder between you two, then I have to report that to the police. The other thing too, I want to make sure that you guys are here on your own volition, that you want to be here, and that you've come here on your own free will. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So now that that's out of the way, I would like to explain, excuse me, I'd like to thank you guys for being here again. I'd like to thank you about caring about the problem and coming together for a peaceful way to find the solution. I think you've made the right decision with mediation. I've been a mediator for 30 years now, and I've seen a lot of issues similar to yours come to a peaceful and beneficial close. Do you guys have any questions about the process?
No.
Awesome. So let's get started then. I always start on my right, so Jean, can I hear from you about your side of the story?
Yeah, I want divorce. You know, we've been married for 10 years, but throughout those 10 years, I've been feeling like a single mom. I mean, I have to do everything. Drive the kids, pick up the kids, walk the dogs 3 times a day. And I get no help from Jane. I'm very upset, and I would like to put an end to all of this.
All right. Jane, you can respond to anything she has said, or you can say anything that you feel has not been brought up with.
Oh, I feel like she hasn't talked about the fact that I'm the owner of the house, the owner of the jet, and the owner of the home theater that she takes like use for every single day. And I feel like she doesn't have a constant source of income, and she hasn't been really interested in romance for 5 years already. So
I'm like the mother of your kids, and you're talking to me about
I
how
take them
you
to
own
church
a
every
house.
day, every Sunday. I take
Yeah,
Joe
but
to
how
piano
many,
lessons.
how many
I
weeks
sleep
there
with
are
the
in a day?
dogs.
How many days are in a week?
Jean, I just
but
want to
you
make
don't have
clear
any-
that this is Jane's time to speak.
Exactly.
So,
Thank you very much.
You'll get another chance to speak in just a couple minutes, okay?
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, Jean is not even religious, and she doesn't even come with us to church. I pay for everything because she doesn't like work. She doesn't do anything, and like, yeah. I should have the most like privilege with the kids because I'm the breadwinner, right?
Okay, if I'm not religious, then you should have taken issue with that 10 years ago before you decided
You
to
haven't
get
been
married
interested in
with me.
romance for 5 years already, and it was
No.
still my time to talk. Thank you very much.
No, you said you were done. So it is my turn to talk. So, going back to what I was saying, if I'm not religious, you should have taken issue with that 10
The
years
thing
ago.
here is not the religion exactly.
So same thing I said with Jean. This is her time to speak now. You'll get a chance to speak in just a minute. We'll go into discussion back and forth.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So yeah, you being the owner of the house, I mean, that doesn't make any sense because a house doesn't make a family happy. It's just a material thing, but you're not devoting enough time to the children. Yes, you do take them to the church, but you do that only once a week.
And
Once a week. And I take care of them every single day. Like my entire life is devoted to the children.
Can I speak now?
Are you all finished, Jean?
Yes.
Excellent.
And what am I supposed to do if I work 8 to 5, 7 days a week, and you take the privilege like you're the owner of everything? I'm killing my ass off for this family to work and make $2 million a year for you and the kids to be okay and have all the privilege that you want. You don't even make not even like a fourth of what I make, and you think you can have all these privileges with them.
Well, I didn't ask for the privileges. You don't have to work. Just stay
And
home and
how are we
enjoy.
supposed to be like living than or
We
like
can
in a house.
We can downsize.
Oh yeah,
it's
you
not a
say that because
problem.
you're not the one that works, right?
But you're never home, so why?
Because
do you
I
even
work
need a
8 to
big house?
5, 7 days a week. I even
I
work
call that
every
greediness.
weekends.
I call that greediness. I think
Who's
you're
the
just
one that
greedy.
uses the most things?
Perfect. So I think we're getting a little bit heated here. I just like to take a minute to cool things down a little bit, focus on the issues at hand here. So what I'm hearing from Jean is that Jane, she'd like Jane to focus a little bit more on spending time with the kids, and that Jane would like Jean to know that she works very hard for the family, and would like that to be appreciated more. So if you guys have any ideas or focuses on that, perhaps we could figure that out.
Yeah, I would like Jane to participate more with the kids' activities and with the dogs too. Because I mean, 2 kids and 2 dogs, I don't have time for anything. And plus, I have to work. It's not easy being an artist. I have to devote some time to myself to get some inspiration for what I'm doing.
Work some commission at home and she thinks she can call herself an artist.
I mean, I earn $40,000.
Oh wow, I earn $2 million a year. I'm
Well, so
CEO
what?
of Amazon.
Okay, so what?
So what?
Who
All
is
these
bringing
all these
home-
little perks that you have, the home theater that you use every single day, for the whole day because I'm killing my ass off from work.
Well, I think I'm entitled to it.
entitled,
I
yeah,
take
to be
care of
lazy
your
and
kids.
call yourself an artist.
No, I'm not being lazy. I take care of
No.
your kids every day, every single day.
You haven't even been interested in like having a romance with me for 5 years. That's half of our marriage. I'm just saying.
Well, you are the one who has killed that romance.
Oh, really? Wow.
Because I have tried to start something and you just wouldn't do anything.
Like what?
Which leads me to think that you might have someone else. And that's why another reason why I want divorce, because I don't want to be made a fool of. I don't want to be
You
cheated
can't blame
on.
me for looking for a little love when you haven't given me any love for 5 years.
Well, you're the one who started all of that
Why?
because you did not pay enough attention to me.
Attention to you? I'm working to give you all these little things
Then how
because
do
the
you have
artist
time?
wants all these little perks.
How do you have time to be with another woman?
What do you mean?
If you don't, yeah, you just said it. That I don't give you enough attention, so you have to look for it someplace else.
Well, because the artist is a
So
little too
are
lazy
you
to do
admitting
anything.
that you're cheating on me?
I didn't say anything.
No, you did.
I didn't say
yes,
that.
You did. Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Which explains why you don't have time for your family, which is a shame. You should be ashamed of it.
Oh, she's a little sad.
So what I'm hearing from that is that Jane would like to spend more close time with Jean, and that Jean would also like the same thing.
No, I don't.
Honestly,
want
no. I want my things back, and I want my kids, and I want her out of our lives.
So there is
No,
I
no.
want the famous artist. The
They're
famous
my
artist that
kids,
works on
too.
commission at home out of my life.
They're my kids.
And no.
too.
So there is no possibility here. You guys aren't considering the possibility that we could make things work in the situation that currently is in.
No.
No,
Okay.
no, baby.
All right. So let's try and center things on the issues here so that we can come to a solution. So I know you guys aren't happy with the current situation. We're here today to try and come up with a new situation for your guys' lives, one that satisfies your most important interests. So if you guys could, if you guys are focusing on getting divorced, let's try and think of some conditions that you guys would like that to look like.
Full custody. I want the house.
Oh, this lady wants a house.
Yes.
No, I pay for it. No. I pay all of it.
So what? I was your wife. I was bringing
The
in
wife that didn't give me love for half of our marriage because she was working.
If
and
you were to
spending time
hire a
with the kids.
nanny, I might have had time for
Oh,
you
so
too.
she doesn't only like want me to pay for the house. She wants me to pay for the jet, which I did, and I also pay for the home theater, and now she wants me to pay for a nanny so she can have more time for herself to enjoy her little movies because the artist wants to watch her little things.
I'm so busy with the kids.
Oh, really?
And it's so
Busy?
stressful. I
Mm.
really need that home theater.
Oh, very stressful to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, for you.
It is.
No.
If you don't
Oh my
believe
God,
it, it is.
yes.
Well, you never
You've
spend time
never
home,
been
so
a
how would you
CEO.
know?
You have to take care of all the whole company.
You
I've-
don't have to.
Oh no.
You can devote yourself to the family. And
Just
we
like
wouldn't
you
be in
devoted,
this
just like you
situation.
devoted yourself with me for half of our marriage. Doesn't that sound interesting?
So Jane, I understand that you've had a lot of stressful situations in this marriage,
What about me?
especially the last few years. Well, I'll get to that. Don't worry. So
Me first.
Jane, you're bringing up a lot of situations where it's been stressful the last few years, and why we're here today is to try and think of a situation where those stresses are gone or at least lessened when you guys separate. So it's okay to bring those up, but let's try and focus on the issues at hand here, and try and think of solutions to those issues rather than just bringing up what's happened in the past. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what I was hearing is that Jean very much likes using the home theater that you bought for the family.
I bought for the family.
Uh-huh.
For
And
the
that
family.
it is an important part of her daily life.
Oh yeah, just watching TV.
And that Jane is concerned that she is not earning the things that she finds important in her life. Is that accurate? She's not earning them with her own work?
She's not earning anything.
Where does my money go?
Not compared. What do you
I
use it
have a
for? I don't
salary,
know.
too.
Oh really? Doing what?
Well, I pay for gas.
Oh, she
And
pays for
for the
gas.
dog's insurance.
Isn't that great? I pay for the full house and she pays for gas. Look at that! Isn't that great?
Well, if you have to drive your kids every day to school and to
Compare that to the 2 million house
But
that you
still,
live in.
it
And
adds
the
up a
jet
lot.
that was $750,000 plus your beautiful home theater that was $10,000. Considering that I work 7 days a week, 8 in the morning to 5 p.m.
I want
every
the home theater
single
set.
day.
I want the home theater.
She just cares
set.
about the fucking TV. Can you believe that?
So we're coming back to the same kind of deal here. We're kind of getting hung up on the price of things and the pain that has been caused in the past. So what I'm going to recommend is that we go into individual caucuses now. So I'm going to meet with each of you separately. You guys can share anything that you don't want the other party to hear, and then we will reconvene afterwards. So since I started with Jean for speaking first, I'll start with Jean. First for the caucus. So Jean, would you like to go out in the hall? You can take a bathroom break or a drink break if you would like. And I will call you in when we're done.
What's up?
Wait, can we pause real quick? All right. So Jane, so as I said before, we're here to try and think of a potential solution to a lot of the issues that you guys are having with your marriage, and here to make sure that those issues aren't around or aren't as effective of your life once you guys separate. So if I were to ask you what your ideal divorce arrangement would look like, could you describe that to me?
You ready to take notes?
Yeah.
Alright. I for sure want the kids Friday to Monday because I'm the one that earns the most money, so I feel like I should have at least the right to spend the weekends with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about her, to be honest. I care about the kids. I want all the kids to be with me on all religious holidays because I'm religious and she's not, and she wouldn't even care about bringing them. So I want them for every single religious holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I want both dogs, especially Sparky, because they will both be sad if they were to be split up. I know she walks them and all that, but like I sleep with them. I spend time with them whenever I like can, also with the kids. But like I also come very tired. Being the CEO is very hard for me. Um, I want the house, 'cause I pay for it. The jet, because I pay for it. And the home theater, because I also pay for it. And I think this is very reasonable because she doesn't even like have a constant like source of income. She just thinks that she's an artist and that she has all these privileges and stuff. But like she's not even invested in romance anymore. She doesn't. She's not invested. She doesn't earn more money, and then she's complaining that she doesn't have all this stuff when I give her everything she's wanted without like doing anything in return. So, yeah.
All right, so I see what you're saying about how Gina's not been invested in the relationship, in your opinion, in the last 5 years, and that you've given her a lot of things that you believe would make her happy. Um, so let's try and think about this from her perspective for a minute. So she's gotten, I'd imagine she'd gotten pretty used to this lifestyle over the past few
Yes,
years.
she has everything she wants.
Yeah. So imagine how jarring that would be to suddenly come to an end and be out on her own.
She ended
in the
it
world.
5 years ago when she like wasn't invested. That's why like I found another like woman and like she's been great. And honestly, like she's very like she cares a lot about my kids. Like and she doesn't even like me anymore. For half of her marriage, she's been like out of it. Even when I give her everything she wants. So I don't think that's fair.
So what I'd like to think about, what I'd like to encourage you to think about here is trying to put yourself in her shoes. So if you didn't start out with all this money and all these expensive things, and then you got used to having them for 10 years, and then all of a sudden one day it's over because your relationship ends and you have to go back to having nothing.
That's not my fault that she became an artist and couldn't like found herself something better to do.
Right, but it is important to focus on because we want to come up with a solution today that satisfies both of you.
Also I have to give her money so she can like live on her own.
You'll have to make some concessions.
I'm not planning
you're
on
okay
leaving
with.
her the house or the jet or even the home theater, which is her favorite thing in the world.
Okay, so the house and the yacht.
And the home theater, everything. I've paid everything for her. And she just thinks that she deserves all these perks just because she thinks she's famous. Nobody really knows her. Oh, yeah.
But let's think about what you really want out of this. What is very important to you.
The kids and the dogs.
Kids and the dogs.
Spending time with them. I know that if I were to marry this new girl that I have in my life, everything will be like a lot better. She supports me more than she has ever done for like half her marriage already. She's just such a bitch. I don't know. You know?
I understand. So the kids and the dogs are your priorities here.
Yes.
Those are the things you absolutely cannot live without.
Yes.
That you get to spend,
At least some days, at least. You
Right.
know, that over every like all I can do for her is just give her some time with the kids. But I'm not planning on giving her any money. It's not my fault that she cannot do anything for herself. And I'm also not planning on getting a nanny just because she's so lazy to do the job herself. Like, come on.
Did you say that Friday through Monday? Is that accurate?
Friday to Monday and all religious holidays.
Okay. And then what do you think your plan for the dogs would be?
Well, keeping them, both of them. I don't. They will be very very sad if we split them up.
Okay.
So I don't care if she walks them. That doesn't mean I can walk them when I get home or like you know. I would prefer to get a nanny when I'm alone finally without her because I'm not about to take more of this like responsibility like from her. Like, it's not fair.
I understand. So let's talk about the house for a minute. So I understand that you have a lot of pride in having bought this for your family, that you're likely very attached to it.
$2 million. That's what I make in a year, man.
Mhm.
Like,
So you put a whole year's salary towards this.
Yes.
the other thing too, though, to consider is that the kids are likely attached to this house very much.
I'll stay in the house with them. She's the one that has to leave. Again, I'm not leaving her any part of the house. She didn't contribute at all.
Well, it's not why we're here today is not necessarily about who contributed to what, but it's what each party member cares most about. So, do you think that you could live without the house? Do you think that there's another house out there for you that you would be very happy
Potentially, but I'm not, again, to leave her with the house. No. That's what she wants. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be like asking, oh, I want the home theater, oh, I want the jet, I want the house, and I want the kids. Like, she wants everything. What she do? Nothing.
So something I've observed in my other mediations involving divorce, not dessert, involving divorce, is that we can come up with creative solutions to the problems.
I don't think she's really creative, to be honest.
Well, so this is just a thought, but perhaps that if you don't feel too strongly about keeping the house, am I correct in saying that? And that it's more about not letting her have it when you paid for it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what if we were to think of it as its value in money, and then perhaps distributed the value?
What do you mean?
So if we sold the house and then we took the earnings from that and split it among you guys somehow, so that you
No, I pay for the whole house. I'm not gonna give her any money that comes from this house. Oh no.
Okay.
No, that's not a solution.
All right. So out of the things we've discussed, we've talked about the house, the yacht, the home theater, dogs, and the kids. Let's start with one thing that out of these things that you think that you would be able to give up, that you think she would really care about.
I wouldn't give up anything. I mean, I'm already giving her some days with the kids. Like, she should live with that. I already take the kids to church on Sunday. I want them, most likely Friday to Monday. That includes the weekends, right? So I take Joe to piano lessons on Sundays. I take the kids to church on Sundays too. Friday to Monday, I can have the dogs and the kids for that time, and then she can keep them. But she will have to find where to live for herself. I'm already giving her that part with the kids, because with me she can't have anything anymore. The romance died years ago. So.
I want to say thank you for being willing to compromise on the kids. I think that is at least a very fair start for negotiations in that area. However, with the house and the yacht and the home theater, I think there is room for compromise there that we aren't considering.
I don't know. I don't know what she's up to for giving up, because I bust my ass off every day for all these things just for her to not put anything.
So would you prefer that we discuss this together in a group of 3 rather than just in
let's see what
caucuses?
she does. Let's see what she does, because honestly, this is a little
All right. Well, thank you for speaking to me about these things. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to go out in the hall
Okay.
and call Jean back in. All right, welcome back, Jean. Thank you for being patient. Well, Jane and I discussed. My foot's stuck. So one of the things we discussed is trying to think of an ideal solution of what your idea of a good divorce settlement would look like.
Okay, the most important one would be to get full custody of the kids. I just don't trust Jane taking care of them full time because she never spends time home. So, and she doesn't really know about their schedules or what or what the kids like to eat and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also would like to get the dogs, but I can make. I have a preference for Biscuit because Sparky is more closer to James and Biscuit is closer to me. So I think that should be an easy thing to do between the two of us. I want $250,000 of child support per year. I know Jane enough, and money is her weakness, so I want to get out as much as possible. Also, I want the home theater set. That's very important with me because it has helped me cope with the stress from just being immersed into kids' activities every day and almost not having time for me.
Mm-hmm.
I use that as a way to relax and then just like me time to get more inspiration for the things that I'm doing because I'm an artist. I really need that. If Jane wants to keep the house, she can. But if she does, then she has to get me a new one so she has the money and we can allow the kids to live in a decent place again and not having to worry about rent because my job is a little unstable. So I think it will be helpful to have a permanent place. That will be an advantage for the kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Jane also bought a yacht and I want access to the yacht for every weekend. She doesn't even use it that much, so she should agree to it, and that's like a reward. She should be grateful that I don't want to take it like all together for me only, and I just request access for a weekend so I can just relax a little bit, maybe when she has the kids. That should be her reward to me for taking care of our children so many years, and she doing barely the minimum. I know this is like a lot of requirements, but I also feel entitled to a lot because she has cheated on me, and that's like true. I hired a detective, and she's been cheating with my best friend. I'm very upset about that, but I don't think just expressing my anger or yelling at her would be enough to punish her for what she's done to me. So I feel like taking away her money would do more justice, since she's crazy about the money.
I understand. So first, I would like to thank you for being a little open-minded and making some concessions about the dogs, that you're willing to give up Sparky if,
Yeah, she can take it.
if Jane would prefer. That you're allowing her to keep the house if she would prefer that, as long as she buys you a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fair that you're willing to give that up. And also that you're letting her have access to the yacht on the weekdays. That it would be easy to just ask for it all week long, but to make that concession is fair. I'm not saying that those are the things we're eventually going to agree on, but I think it's a good starting place. One thing I would like to talk about is the full custody. So I'd like for you to think about this from her point of view. That these
She
are.
doesn't care about the kids. I mean, she never spends time with them, to be honest. So.
In my experience, though, a lot of divorces can be kind of wake-up calls for parents. That you may never really know how important something is to you until it's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
She's so self-centered. I don't believe that she would care for not having full custody of the kids. I just don't believe that.
Well, nobody can live completely on their own. People really do care about their families, even if they have a hard time expressing it. And I really appreciate, and I think it would be the best way to move towards a solution, if we could maybe try and think of some concessions to make there. So, what are the most important days of the week or of the year that you spend with your kids?
All holidays.
Okay.
That's what I want. All of the holidays.
All right. So all holidays around the year, that's very important to you. What about thinking about the week?
Well, since I do the pickups and drop-offs, I should probably have them 6 days of the week. So when they're in school, Monday through Friday, I do those things, but then I also have them to just do something fun with them on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be fair.
What days would you prefer, or what day would you prefer to give up?
To give up Sundays.
Okay. Now, we do have to remember that this is something that we need Jane to agree to as well in order to get it to go through. So, between the 6 days a week, taking Biscuit, the $250,000 child support, the home theater, buying the new house or keeping the old one, and accessing the yacht every weekend, and having all holidays with the kids. We do need to, as hard as it can be, considering the stress of the situation, we do need to try and think of it from the other person's point of view. So is there anything that you can think of that would be very important to Jane that out of this she would not want to compromise on? Or that she would prefer to go a different way?
Well, I don't want any shares from her company, even though I feel entitled to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is there anything else that you think is very important to Jane?
No.
All right. So maybe that's something we can discuss. We can get our most crucial concerns out in the open when we come back together after this. So then we can really work on what is most important to each person and come to a solution that satisfies as many of those needs as we can. Does that sound
But
good?
don't you agree? Like, she cheated on me. I deserve everything that I asked for and even more.
I think both of you have some very valid complaints in the situation, and we should take everything into account, but I think there's a fair solution between the two of you. All right. Well, thank you for sharing with me, and I'm going to go get Jane.
Oh, you left?
Welcome back, Jane.
Hi.
Thank you for being patient.
No, she's cold. She always wants something.
Wait until you hear.
Are you guys comfortable with the temperature of the room?
I am
I
right
guess she's
now.
not. Like, she's never comfortable with anything, right?
She's offending me too much. Can you do something about it?
So let's focus on the issues here.
Exactly. Don't be so
Shut
dramatic.
up.
We need to keep things civil. Let's act like adults here.
See,
Nate,
you're an artist. You're supposed to know how to
But-
act. She
hold
doesn't
on,
even know
guys,
how to
guys.
act.
You're a CEO.
we're not going to get anywhere here if we're just going to be name calling. Let's focus on the actual issues. In each session, I think we.
You think it's funny?
I'm terribly sorry. That was unprofessional of me.
Well, I'm gonna drink too.
All right. So, I think in both sessions we made some very important progress towards finding a solution. Jane, do you mind if I share your proposal with Jean?
Yes.
Okay.
What
So-
does she want?
Jane requests the kids Friday through Monday.
Friday to Monday.
Mhm.
Okay.
She feels that she wants the kids with her during the religious holidays.
Nah, come on. She doesn't even care. She's not religious.
So she wants the kids with her for the religious holidays because she's the religious one here. She would like to keep the house because she paid for it. Same thing with the yacht and the home theater.
Oh, she's crying.
She would like to keep both dogs, but especially Sparky. However, she thinks...
Take it. I don't care.
You don't care about the dogs?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm taking Biscuit. She
No, they're gonna be very sad if they get split up, so I need both of them. Thank you very much.
No.
Yeah, Jane's concern about that is that the dogs would feel sad if they were separated. But she is willing to give up Biscuit to you. Or,
no, I'm
Never
not
mind,
gonna say
never
that. Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm sorry, Jane, that was my mistake.
Why are you kicking me under the table?
It's small. I have room.
Would you guys prefer if we turned the table another way so that you guys have some more personal
No,
space?
No, it's fine.
Hear her.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. And then the thing that what was I gonna say?
What I recommend.
Sure, go ahead.
No.
If I would like then I would like to share Jean's what her ideal outcome would look like.
Yeah, I want full custody of the kids, Monday through Saturday. I want, write that down, $250,000 per year for child support. You can keep the house, but if you do,
What do you ask for?
have to buy
Child
me a
support?
new one.
What do you have to?
250,000. And I can give you Sparky if you give me Biscuit. I don't care about Sparky.
She doesn't even care about the dogs, and you're laughing at it.
She cares about one of the dogs. She prefers one of the dogs. Just like
They're gonna
you
be
feel
sad
closer
if
with
they get
Sparky.
split up.
You let Sparky sleep with you, and Biscuit is on the floor. You are the one who doesn't care about Biscuit. So I can take him and take better care of him. And you can keep Sparky. And I want the home theater set because that will be your gift to me for taking care of our children for so long. And I also want access to the yacht. For the weekends, I could take it for forever. I can take the whole yacht, but I'm just asking for access to it for the weekends.
No, this is not gonna work. Look,
It better work.
listen, Linda, listen. I will give you. So the 250 is that per year?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. You're gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. 250 per year. I'll do it to you, but I won't buy you a new house. You'll have to figure it out. Since you, the lady, think that you have a good income, like you told me earlier, right? So you figure your shit out.
Okay, but I'm taking your
No,
kids.
you're not. No.
So you better provide a place for your kids to live.
I'll let you take them. Alright, how about this? We take them a week and then a week. A week you and a week me.
No.
No? That doesn't work for you?
You buy a house and I'll maybe agree to that.
No. No. See, she's only worried about them, like the money.
No,
You think about
it's
it?
your kids. Where are they gonna live? I
They're
don't
gonna
want
live
to take
with
them
me
in an
in
apartment.
my house.
Well, we haven't agreed.
In
who's
my
gonna have
house, because I paid full for it. What do you contribute to? Absolutely nothing.
them.
And she also wants access to the jet. Which, what she contribute on? Please? What she contribute on?
She contributes on a lot of things.
I like. No, I'm
Yes,
talking about
like
the jet. I'm talking about the
time
jet.
and love, something that
You
cannot
can find
buy with
yourself
money.
a yacht. If you were
Okay,
not working
no
as
yacht.
a little artist thinking
No
that
yacht.
you have an actual
Can
job.
you hear me? No.
Yes,
yacht.
no yacht, okay.
No yacht.
So let's try and take the volume level down a bit. So one thing that I'd really like to commend you guys on is that it seems like we've agreed that $250,000 a year in child support is fair. Is that correct? You guys think that's all right?
Maybe.
All right.
You said yes.
Maybe. Thank you. She's a gold digger.
remember what I said about name calling, that we want to remain focused on the problem.
She just
here.
married me for the money. That's all I know.
And that's
You cheated with my best friend.
Because what you do, nothing. For half of our marriage. Don't scratch your head. I know it's hard, but look at her.
I'm sorry, I have an itch. So just remember, we've made progress already. We found some common ground. So perhaps we can look at the house after this. So I heard that Jean thinks it is fair that, or Jane thinks it is fair that Jean finds a house and buys it on her own, considering that she has offered up the $250,000 for child support, and that Jean thinks it is important that the kids have a stable and healthy place to live.
Very important.
I don't really know she cares about that.
So, do you think one of you guys could say what you think? Is there?
How about this?
Go ahead.
I want them every weekend.
Every weekend?
Every weekend.
Okay.
Every weekend. I'll give you your stupid home theater. Or you leave me my house and my dad alone. And Sparky. You can keep Biscuit.
Okay, so you're gonna buy me the house.
No, I'm not gonna. I didn't say I was gonna buy you a house. I'll give you your child support. You can keep them all week. I want them weekends, especially on religious holidays. Write that down. Just like you told me, write that down.
Okay.
I want my house, which I pay for it, and my jet, which I pay for it. I'll give you your beautiful home theater, since that's my gift for taking care of the kids, and your $250 per year. But I won't buy you a house. You'll have to work for that. You can keep the kids all week, but I want them on weekends.
No, I changed my mind. What if I keep the kids on a weekend and you keep them throughout the week since you're not willing to buy me a house?
Okay.
Okay.
And your home theater, but you leave my house and my yacht alone.
What?
Exactly. I'm not gonna buy you a house. You can keep.
Then I'm gonna keep the kids Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday. So you're gonna get them only one day.
No.
And no
Why is that?
religious holidays.
Then
Forget it.
let's reduce the child support if you're not willing to do that. Since I'm the one that pays for everything. What do you want? You wanna leave them?
Are you gonna take your money when you die? I mean, you gotta spend them.
That's gonna be for the kids.
For the kids.
That's gonna be for the kids
It is
if
for
they
the
are
kids.
with me.
It
Not
is gonna
with,
be.
not for you.
They're gonna
No.
live with me too, so you have to buy me a
No,
house.
I'm not gonna buy you a house.
Can I get us focused on something? I think we were very close to making a solution. Jane mentioned that she would be okay with having the kids on the weekend and religious holidays. And Jean gets the home theater, and that Jean gets the home theater. She was willing to make those concessions. I think that's an important thing to consider. We were getting a little bit hung up on the house. So I would like us to focus on that for just a second. Do you think that those are valuable to you, that you would be able to live with having them on the week during the weekdays, and that Jane gets them on the weekend, and that you're willing to give up religious holidays
Sure,
in
I
exchange
can
for
do
home
that.
theater?
Yeah, but I want access to the yacht every week.
Just on weekdays. No weekends.
Okay.
All right. And just to go back to the child support real quick, is the $250,000 still all right with you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Sparky stays with me and Biscuit can stay with her. But if they are sad, it's gonna be your fault.
Okay.
So if the separation issues with the dogs is still concerned, one other thing I've learned through my other mediations with divorces, especially with dogs, one thing to consider is perhaps a trial period where we see how the dogs handle being separated. So we could try the separate excuse me, the separate living arrangements and see how that works out. Oops. And then if there are issues with that, we can put in a backup plan. So let's start out with saying Jane gets Sparky, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And Jean gets Biscuit.
Mm-hmm. The cutest.
So if the dogs were to get anxious being separated from each other, do you guys have any ideas about that? What we might do?
I can just send Biscuit to her house.
Mhm. So you'd be willing to give up custody of Biscuit if the arrangement isn't going well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I care more about him.
And if that issue if that issue does come up, we can schedule another appointment, another mediation if you guys would like, and we can work that out. Or we can just stick with what Jean has suggested, where Jean gives up Biscuit. Does that sound fair to you guys? Okay. And that's up to your discretion about what you would like to do. Okay. So just to reiterate what we've agreed on so far, $250,000 Jane pays to Jean per year in child support. Jane gets the kids on the weekends and on religious holidays. Is that correct? Okay. Jean gets the home theater. Jean gets the yacht on weekends. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Wait, just weekdays.
Weekdays.
Yeah,
Okay.
weekends are mine.
Yeah, I misread that. Okay, so Jean gets the yacht on the weekdays. Jane gets Sparky. Jean gets Biscuit. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the one other thing that we have not or that we've put up discussing is the house.
The house is mine.
All right. I know this has been a really contentious issue, and that it's really hard for us to decide who gets the house, or if Jane has to buy Jean a house. So what I'd like to consider is perhaps if there's any other living arrangements that we haven't considered so far. Do you guys have any recommendations?
She probably has many friend artists. She can move with them or find something. If she's
You
an
want me
artist,
to take the kids to someone else's house and live with them? What kind of a parent are you?
they are gonna
suggest
live
that.
with me in my house, so they'll be in very good care. You
These
find
are
yourself.
weekends. You're
Yeah.
having the kids weekends. What are they gonna do for 5 days before that?
You figure it out.
Wow, such a good parent.
Look at the one who's only cares about the access to the yacht and the home theater.
It's okay. I'll buy the house. I'll buy the house, and then maybe we won't have for food, but we'll have to ask Jane for more money.
So, are you suggesting that the child support payment goes up,
Yes,
gets a little bit higher if you
Yes.
buy the own house?
I'll get 300 per year.
I'll take it.
Okay. Are there any other issues that you guys would like to discuss? Any other assets that you think we haven't considered, that we need to determine who gets what? Is there anything else to discuss?
No?
All right. So here's the agreement I have written up so far. That $300,000 in child support per year goes from Jane to Jean. Jane gets the kids on the weekends and the religious holidays. Jean gets the home theater. Jean does buy her own house. Jean gets the yacht on the weekdays. Yes? Okay. Jane gets Sparky, and Jean gets Biscuit. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Jean, just to reiterate, what we just decided on, Jean will buy her own house.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys each can sign right here. All right. So I want to thank you guys for coming in today. I know how stressful these situations can be. Deciding what the most important aspects of your lives, what's going to shape what the rest of your life looks like for the near future. I want to thank you guys for being willing to consider the other person's interests and be willing to compromise on a lot of things that are very important to you. And also that it is definitely something to be proud of that we've solved these issues here today. It takes a lot of bravery and hard work in order to come to a compromise like this, and I'm glad that we've worked out a lot of the issues that were so difficult at the beginning of this session. I want to let you know that if there are any other issues that arise with the current arrangement, you are more than welcome to call to schedule another mediation session, and that that if you decide that what we've agreed on here today isn't working, that we can come back and reconsider and change the agreement up in a way that you guys are more comfortable with. But I would like to say thank you guys for coming in today. Jane, well done, and Jean, well done. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys, I hope these issues are solved and that you guys are comfortable with what we've agreed on.